long story short, I was doing research on my family, went to the historical center, and all of a sudden I keep hearing this word unity. Unity. So I went and started doing research because I knew we were having our 60th anniversary. Well, I went to the Fresno County directories and we found that we were incorporated in 1954, but there were Unity centers starting as early as 1935. And so I've been going, finding out who these other ministers are because they're not in our record. And and it's really funny because a lot of them were women. A lot of them were doing, in 1945 they were doing parlor lecture clubs. This is from the Fresno B 1945. Wow. It's an advertisement. You know how they have, on the Sunday they have all the churches? Mm-hmm. Well, I got this from the Fresno B 1945.
7 times a day?
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I'm thinking either it's forgiveness or prayer. But I'm working with the archives at the office in Eric.
No, this is
So we'll find out what this 7 a day is. They also did lessons in church. But there was more than one center, like there was Unity Center in 1935 that went to Blackstone, and then they also had Unity Church of Christ on Van Ness Avenue. So I'm kind of looking at all who the other ministers were.
Okay.
Because there's like 8 or 9 more that are not on our list.
Okay. This is in 1950s?
Huh? Yeah, okay. That's just one of the things I got on the Fresno B.
The Parlor Lecture Club. Interesting. Pass it around.
Yeah. And for right now, that's all I'm doing. That's all I did right now so far. But I'm looking at finding out and getting pictures of all these other ministers down the lake. So if anybody has any information,
Are you keeping a whole
yeah, I'm gonna
archive
keep
thing
file.
going?
I'm also gonna send it to home office because they would have to put it in our file.
All right.
So,
Cool.
anybody have any stories?
Any stories? Oh, my hair fell out.
Unity related stories, darling.
Okay.
I haven't been here long enough to have a story.
We have any story?
Well, Barbara has a story.
I do.
She has been here longer than I have, and so does Evelyn.
And few people talk more than Barbara.
I'm gonna pick Evelyn's brain. Evelyn and I are gonna be using coffee a lot.
Yes.
What, you want a story from me?
Yeah, Evelyn.
Yes, ma'am.
A Unity story.
Well, I don't remember the year I arrived in Fresno. It's been a long time, maybe 23 years ago. And the minister was Alfreda St. Tour, and I went to the church, and they needed a secretary, so I worked as her secretary.
Going to massage you.
That's interesting. So I was not new to Unity at that time. I'd gone to Unity in Houston for several years. That's my story for now.
Okay.
If I think of any more, I'll tell you.
Thank you for that. You got a story. Celia has a story.
But she's got to put what's in her mouth.
Well, while she's cheering knowledge, go ahead.
Okay.
Back in 1980, I became part of Unity. The minister at that time was Mary Porkchop, a wonderful lady from Canada with all sorts of marvelous ideas. I was also involved in Self-Realization Fellowship at that time. So I brought in some of what we call the Ananda singers out of Northern California, where they have a community. And these singers are really, really very good. But the turnout was not real great that night. I guess I didn't do a very good advertising thing. But the next morning, the singers agreed that they would come and sing for the church service. But afterwards, everybody was coming up to me and saying, "Why didn't you tell me they were that good? I would have come last night." But it was enjoyable, and these people were my friends. They made a habit, they traveled, these singers. And as they came through Fresno, they would stay at my house, and I would have bedrolls all down the hallway.
Right on.
But it was fun. We enjoyed Unity, and Unity certainly enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. Well, that's my
Barbara?
presentation. Thank you.
You have your hand up. Wow, thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Cindy. Anyway, when will we hear more update on this?
You know what, I think I'm gonna ask Rachel if I can have I'll call her and then now.
Hello, good.
Great.
Yeah. And if you'd like, I need a little practice speaking in front of everybody. So
Cool.
maybe Sunday, once a month.
The archives, Cindy in the archives.
Thank you.
Boy, is it game time.
Almost. Well, we're gonna do something fun right now. In the Sufi tradition, their communing, this perler club would be called a sovet. And a sovet is where you have a meaningful conversation with someone in a community or an individual about what you think spirit's about. You know, so it kind of reminds me of that idea of the sovet, being engaging with them.
Had that a little while ago.
Huh? Okay.
Did we just have that a little while ago when we were talking?
Oh,
Okay.
A sovet, yes.
A sovet. Oh, we're going to have a poem by Melvin, and then we're going to go into the 6-word memoir. So Melvin, come and read your poem.
Okay.
And while he's doing that, I'm going to hand out my worksheets.
And watch out, Celia, he's coming through.
Did you say while I'm doing that, you're gonna hand out your
My worksheets, yes.
worksheet?
Yeah.
But while you're handing out your worksheet, I'm going to introduce myself. Oh, well, I'm Melvin Ricks. But I graduated Edison High School. I graduated Fresno State. Then I moved away soon after graduating Fresno State. I have a degree in journalism from Fresno State. And so the Fresno Beat didn't have any openings, so I moved away and left town. And so I ended up in outside of Chicago. I lived there for 2 or 3 years, and then I moved to Atlanta, Georgia. In Atlanta, I attended a Unity church there. It was called Hillside Chapel and Truth Center. If you Google it, you would see it. They have the services on the internet, so you can see it on the internet. And so I attended there for about 16 years. I attended law school in Atlanta. I practiced law there for about 17 years. And so, and then I came back to Fresno. The play that we're going to do on October the 18th is called I'm Still Alive. That's the name of the play. It's based on my book that I published about 2 years ago, which is called To Die Before You Die. That's the title of the book. And so the play is based on the book. When I did the play, the first time we had a cast of 18 people. We did the play, at a mental health facility or a center. It's like a community center called Blue Sky. We had a cast of 18 people there. We did it at the Paparella House. We had a cast of about 15 people at the Paparella House. We did it for the veterans in the new veterans home on the west side. And then we're going to do it here. Oh, yes, right. We're going to do it here. This will be the 4th or 5th performance of the play. But the play is a lot of fun. It's about a guy who's bipolar, and he doesn't know it, and so he goes through his life. If you know anything about the illness, you're either manic-y, which means you're all excitable and happy and crazy, or in the first scene he's manic, in the second scene he's depressed, the third scene he's manic, and the fourth scene he's depressed. So it's like a crazy roller coaster ride. And when it ends, he finally get diagnosed, and then he learns that he has an illness, and he learns how to cope, and that's how to play in. Because he goes to a group therapy, he's manic again, he turns group therapy into a big party. And that's how to play in with the main character singing and dancing. I'm the main character, I can't sing, I can't dance. So it's sort of semi-comedy and semi-drama. The audience laugh a lot and they cry a little bit, but they laugh a lot. I wrote this poem in 2010, and I've read it probably about 4 or 5 times, but I've never read it before an audience who would more so know what I'm talking about, you know. The title of the poem is The Rise of Consciousness. And in the poem itself, in my own definition, it means the rise of the awareness of the presence of God is what I mean when I say the rise of consciousness. And so, and I really enjoy this poem. I think it's probably the best thing I ever written, but a lot of people don't understand it.
I can relate.
Okay, so I'll read it. The Rise of Consciousness. When it moves across the land, love spreads like ripples in a lake. Joy leap forth like flowers in springtime. Hatred melts like summer snow. Peace colors the landscape, and the earth shall rejoice and celebrate. When it moves in the heart of man, understanding flows unopposed. Surrender lightens heavy burdens. Charity fills the table of hunger. Brotherhood sprouts in hardened hearts, and love shall be the language spoken. When it moves in the mind of man, pain and fear scatters in its wake. Stillness slows our busy thoughts. Truth chases away confusion. Ego flees its mighty presence, and man shall see himself in others. When it moves in the soul of man, darkness shrinks in the presence of light. Man remembers his true identity. Past and future cease to exist. Man evolves into Christhood, and God shall walk upon the earth again. And that's it. Thank you.
That was very nice.
Handing out worksheets, and I thought, oh, maybe they need pens and pencils. Maybe. How many of you have heard of the 6-word memoir? Your 6-word autobiography.
What if I have?
You did that.
I can't do it very well.
Been there, done it? Okay. It's a way of taking your experience and condensing it to the barest essentials and conveying meaning at the same time. Sort of like a poem is condensing a life experience into, just its essence. It's not a huge story. It's telling a huge story in a little way. The 6-word memoir got started by Ernest Hemingway. And all of you have a worksheet on your table that gives a little explanation and some samples. And this was it tells the whole story. You can fill in the blanks. For sale, baby shoes, never worn. It's kind of powerful. Yeah. Okay?
We get it.
Oh, I see.
Huh? And then here's one that Deepak Chopra did. Danced in the field of infinite possibilities. If you know anything about his work, that sort of speaks to what he's saying.
One sentence.
I love this
of
one.
6 words that describe
Do not
life.
ever underestimate my
Yeah.
Do not ever underestimate my power. This one,
In my pocket.
not quite what I was planning. Forever entertained by the universe's humor. I like this one. I've made all the best mistakes.
Mistakes.
Be kind, speak gently, love unconditionally. Then here's a couple that I've attempted to speak about unity, the unity experience. So what we're going to do is come up with a 6-word memoir that speaks to our unity experience. You know, and then we're going to put them. We're going to when you get it typed like you want it in your 6 words, no less, no more. There's a poster over there on the wall. We're going to write them on there, and then, well, just as you came in the door, I bet you no one noticed. What? Over by the light switch. Did anybody notice?
Yeah. No.
One person. Okay. So we're going to pin them there, sign them, and then I bought a frame, and we'll frame them and hang them up, and that'll be one of our ways to commemorate Unity's 60th anniversary. Okay, so I passed out worksheets. There are pens and pencils going around. So your 6-word memoir about your Unity journey or your Unity experience. So 6 words.
Take the one off the bottom.
Okay. 1 word. Okay, here's mine. Say yes, receive joy, full measure.
So although you say 1 word, you mean 1 sentence.
1 6-word.
1 6-word sentence.
Yes. Does not have to be grammatically correct.
So it doesn't have to be a sentence.
It does not have to be a sentence.
But you can make it a sentence, still
You could. You could. Unity journey, life more fully grounded. So, and I'll come around and help you if you need help. But you might just start listing words that speak to your Unity experience or your spiritual experience.
And then
Put it together.
Yeah.
What are those words that speak to you? Okay? Okay. And you can take one of these and alter it. It needs to be in your own words, you know. One of my favorites, and this might tell you something about me, not born a redhead. Fix that.
What's the last one?
Fix that.
Oh.
Oprah did a whole series of programs and a whole issue of her magazine on the 6-word memoir.
Right.
Yeah, so. Spin around, spin around, spin around. Okay.
In a minute, whoever was number 1, and I'm going to pretend like that's Florence. She gets a number, she gets to go pick a gift. Then if Celia's number 2, she can either steal Florence's gift or she can get her own gift. Okay?
And Florence unwraps hers as well.
Right, you have to unwrap it first so everybody knows what the gift is. Thank you. Okay, so then the 3rd person can either steal Celia's gift or Florence's gift, or they can get a gift and open it, and it goes that way. You may not steal more than 3 times, and you may not steal directly. Like, for example, if Celia stole Florence's gift, she couldn't steal it back the next time. But if later in the game she gets a chance to, well, that's okay too. And the very last person gets a chance to steal from whoever, because, right. I mean, the first person at the last.
And if I steal Florence's, she gets to choose another one.
Yes,
from
she
the
gets
table.
to pick another one from the table. Okay? Yes.
The gift only moves 3 times, right?
Right, it can't get stolen more than 3 times.
It can get stolen 3 times?
It can, like, say,
Stolen twice or stolen?
it can get stolen a total of 3 times.
Okay.
Okay?
That's easy.
All right?
And Cindy is the
Yes.
number.
You need a number.
Oh, sorry, darling.
Okay. No, where did I put it? Oh. All right.
There's 30.
Right. Well, that would be.
I mean, get close.
No, there was another.
All right, so, does anyone have number 1? Anybody have number 1? Okay.
Oh, it's Kathy.
You're first. You go, girl.
I'm 31. I'm almost the last. That means if you have to wait 31 times to get your play.
Boy.
Mine was ready for
Send
you.
that to me in the mail sometime.
Let mine snooze. Oh. Should I even hear the number?
Get the little one and the little one.
Huh?
That's a one pick.
So I'm supposed to open it?
Yes,
Yes.
because we all get to see what you got.
of us all.
Yeah, how else can we steal it?
Right, we don't know if we wanna steal it unless you open it.
Yeah, you have to see it to know if you want to.
I want something bigger. But remember, small things come in good packages.
This is number 9.
Oh, that nice wrap.
Slinky!
Oh,
She wants somebody to steal it, right?
You're one of my favorite
That
can be a lot of fun. I know, I've never had one. Yeah, you can go see what she got. Go down the stairs.
Okay, and some of you gentlemen, if you get a a present for a female, you can think about your family, Christmas is coming, those kind of things.
We need more rules.
We need more rules.
Don't exceed.
Do I get to keep the wrapping paper
Yes.
for one exchange?
Yes.
I got a quarter. It's not our turn yet.
Does
You have to
anybody
wait.
have
Number 3.
What it is.
number 3?
Going quiet?
Okay.